Hi everyone, it's Miss Erin. Welcome to this month's Make It video. So this month's theme is all around projects with water, and the project I'll be demonstrating for you today is the water clock. So I want to jump right into making the water clock, and then as we start to get it going, I will talk a little bit more about water clocks and what you can do with this project at home. So to get started, the supplies that you'll need that were provided to you in your kits would be your styrofoam cup, your plastic container, your string, your bell, your bead, your popsicle stick, and your bottle cap. The supplies that you might need from home would be a scissors, possibly a Sharpie, this is optional, and then a third container to hold your water in. So, the first step I have actually already done, which is poking a hole in your bottle cap. You can see I've got a hole in my bottle cap here, and poking a hole in the bottom of your cup. So keep in mind that the hole you poke in the bottom of your cup is going to control how your water clock works, because it will control how quickly or slowly the water flows out of your cup. So you are probably going to want to start with a very small hole, maybe even using a toothpick to poke a hole, or just the very tip of a pen or pencil. Hopefully you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's so small, but I've got a very tiny hole poked in the bottom of my cup. So the water clock isn't too tough to set up. The first thing you'll need to do after you've got your holes poked is measure out your string. So you're going to want your string to be about as long as the cup when this is all said and done, but you do need to tie something to the top and to the bottom of the string. So you might want to take your cup and sort of measure it out, but then just keep in mind you're going to need some extra room at the bottom for tying your knots. So I'm going to leave about, let's see, this much. So I would say that's about like 1.5 inches at the bottom to leave myself some room. Go ahead and cut my string. And then the next step, put my string off to the side, is going to be putting my string through the bottle cap and then tying a bead onto the bottom of the bottle cap so the string doesn't slip back through the bottle cap. If you'd rather just tie a big knot at the bottom, you can do that as well. It's totally up to you. All right, so I have got my bottle cap attached to the end. Now, something I didn't do a great job of was putting my hole right in the middle. If you can at home, I would try and put your hole right in the middle so your cap is a little bit more even. Now, the next piece you'll need to do is tie your bell up at the other end of the string. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so once you're all done tying, you're going to want to measure your string and bell and cap in your cup to make sure that it doesn't pass the end. So what I mean by that is if you put your bottle cap down all the way to the bottom, does your bell go over the top? Oops. So it looks like mine does a little bit, so I'm actually going to retie my string and move my bell a little farther up the string because I want the bell to be shorter than the cup when I'm holding the string up. So like I've talked about before, there's a lot of trial and error with our STEM projects. So now if I put my cap down to the bottom, it looks like I'm in a better spot. My bell doesn't come over the lid of the cup. So now that I've got that all set, the final stage in setting up our water clock is going to be first putting our cup in our glass jar here, then setting our popsicle stick across the top and balancing, putting the bottle cap below our popsicle stick and balancing the bell on top of our popsicle stick here. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to balance this a little better once I get some water in there, but just for right now, just so you can kind of see how it's going to look. So the idea is we'll fill up the cup with water, and once the cap gets down towards the bottom, our bell is going to fall off the popsicle stick and make a little bell noise and let us know that our clock is done with its time. So that's what you want to kind of keep in mind as you're setting this up. I'm going to take a brief pause here, and then when we come again, we'll put some water in and see how our water clock works. All right, so as you can see, now we have our second camera set up so you can see the water as it flows through our water clock. Full disclosure, this is not the first time I've run our water clock. I've had some audio issues, so I've been through it before, so if things look a little bit different, that's probably why. So we are going to go ahead and get our water in. I've got my water in my styrofoam cup, and again, the styrofoam cup with the hole and our alarm is set up on top with the plastic below to catch the water. So once I pour the water in, it's immediately going to go to that hole and start getting pulled down into the plastic cup. So you're going to want to start your timer, if you are having one, like I am here on my phone, as soon as you start pouring the water. So let's go ahead and get our water poured in. There we go, and I'm actually going to move the bell over a little bit as well, just because I had it scooched over so it wouldn't get pulled down by the cap. All right, so there are two different types of water clocks. There is an outflow and an inflow. An inflow is when time is measured by the whatever container the water is flowing into. So in that case for us, it would be our plastic jar. So right as we hit 30 seconds here, you can see it comes to that black mark. And so that black mark is telling us it's been 30 seconds. So if we wanted to set a timer for 30 seconds, we could check back and look at if the water had passed the mark yet. An outflow is when you're using the vessel that the water is originally in, so in our case the styrofoam cup, to tell how long it has been. So in our case, we're setting our little alarm here with our bell. So when our alarm goes off, we would know it has been a certain amount of time. Now, there are some complications with this. Water flows differently depending on the temperature, creates changes with its viscosity. The amount of water you use changes how quickly or slowly it flows through. And of course, the way that the cap is pulling the bell down might change from time to time that you're using the clock. I'm hoping this one gets us to about 2 minutes, but we'll see. So there are two different ways you can measure time, like I said. And what's really cool about water clocks is they have been in use for thousands of years. Historians think the first ones may have been in 4000 BC in China, but they've been in use all across the world. Persia, Egypt, basically every ancient civilization had a way of using water to tell how much time has passed. So we're coming up on 2 minutes here. We're going to see if our bell gets pulled down soon. Something else that may have varied from the last time I did it is I think I have our bell a little bit further over, so it may not settle down to the bottom as quickly. But let's watch and see how long before our bell gets pulled down. So I way underestimated. It took 3 minutes and 42 seconds. So I'd be interested to run it again with the same amount of water and see what variables might change to get it closer to 2 minutes. I hope you have fun making your water clocks at home and you figure out some ways to help them tell you how much time has passed. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!